Kitco Mining's special coverage of PDAC is brought to you by Gold Mining and Uranium Energy Corps.
Out of the ashes of political risk and a project turnaround at Fruta del Norte in Ecuador and a stellar 2022 have made Lundin Gold perhaps the shiniest star in the universe of gold producers, with a lot more to come. To tell us more, I'm pleased to be joined here at PDAC 2023 by President and CEO and Kitco Mining 2022 CEO of the Year nominee, Ron Hochstein. Ron, welcome to Kitco.
Thanks, Paul. I'm really happy to be here and to be chatting with you again about Fruta del Norte.
And we've got a lot to talk about, so I won't hang around. The superlatives are coming thick and fast, as the company last year produced 476,000 ounces of gold at an industry-leading all-in sustaining cost of $805 per ounce, beating your own guidance. Perhaps one of the only companies on the gold sector to do that. The company also declared a maiden dividend, and you're paying your debt down faster than the speeding bullet. So many positives, Ron. What was the most pleasing for you?
I think all of them overall, but it's the performance of the team at site to continue to push that operation and to do better and better like that. And I think, being able to beat our guidance of 476,000, our guidance was 460, and the costs, they just keep trying to push. And we're, this year coming up, we were running at 4,200 ton per day. We're now going to be running at 4,400 ton per day. And so it's just that operational excellence. And a saying that Lukas always used to have, prove you can do better. And I see that at site every time I go there. They keep pushing to show everybody that we can do better. It's an amazing asset. Also too, our grades were higher than anticipated. We've had positive reconciliation since day one. And so on all those factors, I think that the team, and you know what, Paul, one of the most exciting things, it shows up in being able to have the great numbers. Our safety record at Fruta del Norte was 0.24 total recordable incident rate per 200,000 hours worked. If we were in Canada, Australia, US, we would be winning awards for that safety performance. And as you know, this is in a country that's never had mining before. And that safety record, that's one of the things I think I'm most proud about is that we were able to make these accomplishments and do it safely.
And I know I visited the project when you were in construction. I know safety is a key part of it. We participated in the morning safety briefing, so it's very much part of the culture you and Lukas established there. I really like this will prove you can do better. It's a question I've often raised with mining executives I interview. They put in a good quarter, but there never seems to be, or few people actually have the self-awareness, if you like, to be asking, did we do good enough? Could we have done better? And part of your success, you've got a 3,500 ton per day plant. As you said, you've put 4,270 tons per day through that, and you're looking at getting that even higher. So what's the guidance for next year? What are you looking to achieve? This year.
Yeah, so our guidance this year is roughly around the same level, 450 to 475,000 ounces. A little bit higher sustaining because our sustaining capital, or all-in sustaining costs, because our sustaining capital this year is a little higher. Another tailings raise, plus there's some things that slipped into 2023. So we're looking at that 840, 870 range on sustaining. But the throughput rate is at 4,400 ton per day. And so we just keep trying to push the level. And we just signed an AFE. I just signed an AFE to do the engineering to look at going to 5,000 ton per day. So again, keep trying to push the envelope and see what we can do.
And your average head grade last year was 9.67 grams per ton. So doing the math, that's Fruta del Norte always was going to be a monster, and you're certainly showing that that's the case.
I think investors are starting to see, if you look at Lundin Gold, Fruta del Norte on the traditional PNAV or earnings per share or something like that, it doesn't fit. But there's very few businesses that are generating the cash flow yields that we are generating because Fruta is such an amazing asset. And with our focus on cost, Ecuador is actually one of the lowest inflationary environments in South America. And with that, combined with the operating team we have in place, we're generating significant cash. So there's very few companies that have the cash flow yield that Lundin Gold has.
I guess you're in the Fruta del Norte truly is an outlier, and you're making everybody else look bad, Ron.
Well, Well, it's the team, and it is a great asset, and it's the vision that Lukas had. That's one of the things when Lukas was ever interviewed by you and others. He always said, "Great assets is what you need." He knew that Fruta was a great asset. It's turned out to be better than what we thought, but it's the team that we've been able to put in place, and it's now it's focused on exploration. What's next? We also announced a week ago, Paul, that we've mined 1.38 million ounces. We've added 1.58 million ounces. So we've added everything back in.
I want to stop you there, Ron, because I'm going to ask you about exploration in a moment. But before we get there, yesterday, the Lundin group or family of companies, you held the Lukas Lundin Legacy event, honouring Lukas, who died last year. How was that? What were some of the messages that came out of that?
It was a great event to be part of. It gave, Wojtek, Jamie, Peter Rockendale, myself, the opportunity to talk about our experiences with Lukas. I've been working for Lukas and the family for 27 years, so I've been involved in a lot. What I heard from a lot of people was inspirational. It put a face on mining versus we're not just an industry, and passion. And, all of those words really exemplified Lukas. And one of the things I said is I can remember going to Fruta del Norte in June of 2014 with Lukas and Pablo Mir and looking at the jungle and going, wow, this is going to be tough, but what an amazing asset. And I'm so happy that, that Lukas fought so hard and that he did see his vision. And the last time I saw Lukas, just a week before he passed away, I told him, Lukas, within a couple of weeks, we're going to surpass 1 million ounces produced. And we did. And I'm so glad that he was able to hear that.
Excellent. Now, I think Lundin Gold is doing things differently to other companies in many, many ways, one of which, debt repayment. You paid down a large chunk of your debt last year, ending the year at about $322 million, which was 42% less than the $552 million that you held at the end of 2021. And in January, you continued that to clean your balance sheet with the repayment in full of your gold prepay facility, another $207 million there. Your debt now is a senior debt facility, which you're looking to repay 2 years ahead of schedule. Why the rush to pay back your debt? A lot of the other gold companies during the relatively high prices of gold have still kept a lot of their debt on their balance sheet. Why the rush to pay it back?
Well, I think for us, the gold prepay, we also have the option to buy back 50% of the stream in June of next year. That's just what that is creating, is more value for our shareholders. That's more free cash flow than that we can look at growth. We can look at opportunities, maybe potentially increase dividends, but gives us that much more flexibility. We'd just rather have that opportunity. The senior debt, we may restructure. We're looking at that. We may structure the senior debt into a revolving line just to have that extra tool in the toolkit. But it's just really clean up the balance sheet and create that cash then gives the company more flexibility and the opportunity to return more to shareholders.
Okay, now we started talking about exploration, and for a number of years the exploration has been overshadowed by the development and production, but now you're also starting to hit that out of the park. As you mentioned, last year you replaced all the reserves mined since beginning of operations in late 2019, and you've now got some 18 million tonnes at 9 grams per tonne, containing 5 million ounces of reserves. You've got another 6.8 million ounces of resources, and regional exploration is starting again. What's the future for Fruta del Norte?
I think, exploration, like the regional program's been going for 2 years now. And just at the end of last year on this target called Quebrada La Negra, we really hit something that's very interesting. We knew it was going to take a little time. So that's one we're really interested in. The regional program, actually, the drills will hit the ground within the next couple of weeks. We switched drill contractors this past year, so it's taken a little longer to get all the drills going. But the near mine program is where I'm really excited as well, because surface drilling to the south of Fruta del Norte, in our first year, within the first 6 months, we hit gold mineralization. Not ore widths, but we hit mineralization, so we know we're onto something. These are things, Paul, that can add to the resources in the really near term. The regional program is add another Fruta del Norte. The near mine program, which is drilling at depth, we have 1 rig underground, 2 on surface. This is the opportunity to add resources directly to FDN in the very short term. So we're really excited. We've upped the drilling. The 2023 program was the largest number of meters drilled in a year, going back to 2007 when Aurelian had it. And we're going to be drilling more this year. So this now we're seeing some of the largest exploration programs ever carried out on this very prospective area.
Okay. Now, Fruta del Norte would be a jewel in the crown of any company. Are you getting interest from other gold producers, or is the aim really to sort of build Lundin Gold out to be a major gold producer?
You know, that's one of the things Lukas instilled in all of us is the for sale sign's always on the front yard, is always there. So look, we do what we can do, which is just to continue to focus on the things that we can do: exploration, improving the operations. If someone comes in, you know, we do have Newcrest at 32% shareholder. There obviously some little bit noise now with the proposed bid of Newmont and Newcrest, which was turned down by Newcrest. That creates that could only be positive for Lundin Gold. If Newmont does do something, they're either going to want all of it, or they're going to say, you know what, this is not for us. They're not the type of company that holds a 32% stake. Either way creates opportunities. If we stay with Newcrest, again, we've got great opportunities, and they're very much supportive of growing Lundin Gold.
Okay, Ron, as I mentioned at the top, you're a nominee for Kitco's Mining CEO of the Year 2022. The results from Fruta del Norte were a standout last year, which is why I have great pleasure to announce that you're not just a nominee, Ron, but you are Kitco's Mining 2022 CEO of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you, Paul. This is very, very humbling because, dedication to Lukas, but the team at site. And yeah, it's just very humbling. Thank you very much.
It's very well deserved.
Kitco Mining's special coverage of PDAC is brought to you by Gold Mining and Uranium Energy Corps.